Now I've laid out my silk and I'm going to put some dye on. At the beginning of the video, you remember that the silk didn't actually take any of the dye, it just sort of flowed off and went underneath. But we'll see how we go today after this has been soaking for a couple of days. Okay, so it doesn't actually just flow off like it was doing. I'll just give it a pat down. Might have overused a bit much dye there, but still, that's fine. So we're going to do yellow. Make sure we've got it all in. The good thing about silk is that it doesn't felt at all, so you don't have to be quite as careful with it as if it was merino. Whoops. So I'm going to use orange. Wipe my hands between to stop any dye getting onto the next colour. This is red. It doesn't soak in quite as easily as it does with the merino fibres, but it still does better than it did when we first tried it before we soaked it in the soak water. Okay, and now I've got rubine. You can hear the dogs in the background. They're pretty sure there's a cat up a tree down at the machinery sheds. There was a cat there yesterday, wild cat, but it's long gone. So they're just sitting there underneath the tree barking. I think they're just entertaining themselves, to be honest with you. Now I've got violet. And I'm going to use black. So these are all oath palette dyes, and they do have that bit of thickener in them, so they don't sort of just all soak straight through to the bottom. Now I was going to put yellow on the end, but thinking about it, that's going to make a shade of green. So I might have to change my mind there, and maybe I'll just put orange instead. No, hang on, I might go and get some turquoise and use turquoise instead, I think. I'll be back, hang on. Right, so I've come back with turquoise. Changed my mind, and we'll just put turquoise here. Turquoise is a pretty good colour. That'll just brighten it up a bit. Okay. Now I'm not going to be too concerned where the joins are, because I know those colours will sort of blend together a little bit as this steams. I will have to steam these, even though it's earth palette dyes, and it generally doesn't, because it is the middle of winter here in South Australia, and the current outdoor temperature is, I think it's 16 today we were having, and that is still not quite enough to steam, to heat set, or to set these cold dyes. So for today I will steam them, but only for about 15 minutes, and then I'll just leave them until tomorrow morning and come back and unwrap them and show you them then. So now we'll just squish them in a bit. Wrap them up. And I'm not even going to turn them over and do the other side as well, because I think that by the time I've done my next dye batch, this will have soaked through to the other side good enough that I don't need to. So I'm just going to leave them for now. So we're back with the silk that we dyed, the mulberry silk tops that we dyed. As you can see, this is how we laid it out and dyed it. The colours have come out a lot paler on silk than they do on merino, merino fibre that we dyed, or the fleece that we dyed, but it's still a pretty cool colour. They're nice and soft, ready to spin, they're dry, ready to do whatever you want with them. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time.